My name is Amanda Worthington, and I'm going to be talking about how one of the current Disney Channel stars relates to the theories we've been talking about in class. Rowan Blanchard stars in Girl Meets World. She's about 14 years old, and she recently came out as queer on Twitter, saying she is open to liking any gender in the future. The queer theory relies on concepts such as ambivalence, ambiguity, and multiplicity of identities, which have replaced the more clearly defined sexual values of earlier generations. What's significant about saying any gender as opposed to either both genders is that it acknowledges that some people identify as non-binary, or that they do not identify with the genders male or female. In terms of gender studies, a lot of people believe that gender is socially constructed and that gender norms or the expected behavior or appearances should not be strictly enforced. I'd like to think I'm open-minded, but sometimes it's hard to wrap my brain around these kinds of things simply because I do not identify as transgender or non-binary. A lot of people have problems with this not only because it contradicts what they've always believed about only being attracted to the opposite gender, but that there are only two genders, when in fact there are more than that. But there is no education on the subject. Nobody likes to talk about it. Now, I learned what I do know online, and that's only within the last 4 years maybe. So, one of the great things about Rowan is that she uses social media like Twitter as a tool for people in her age group to educate them on not only important political but social issues like this. She's openly a feminist and actively discusses things like white privilege and the importance of feminism of a feminism that is inclusive of all women, no matter their race, religion, or sexuality. And she also discusses things like white privilege, and she's aware of this kind of things. I know a lot of people do not identify as a feminist because they've only seen what, I've heard at least them called radical feminists, who talk about how women should be superior and that their problems are more important. But from my own experience, at least, there seems to be a shift towards a more inclusive feminism that even includes, how our patriarchal society affects men. And even, I know from what I've seen, a lot of people are talking about the importance of people of color and feminism and how those two relate and how it needs to be inclusive. A lot of new feminists have already been educated on this, and that's why they get upset when women especially say they aren't feminists, because they believe in equality, when, that's kind of what we're all supposed to believe in, So I can understand, why people get upset about it, because, they think, oh, everyone should know this, and you don't know what feminism is if you are saying it should be equality, but, based on that minority that is more radical, I guess you could say, they think that. With more young people like Rowan Blanchard who are speaking out, I hope that we all will eventually be on the same page about feminism and things relating to the queer community.